Okay, Inner Compass Coaching, lesson 4 of who knows how many. Today, I'm going to go into the realm of NLP. So we started this lesson, or started this series really as on how is NLP coaching, neuro-linguistic programming coaching, is it still valid for today? Do we use it today? And we're going to jump into that, but I'm really going to jump into it from a little bit of a different manner. So I'm going to talk about the meta model and the meta model of how we use that for our questions, because this is a very effective way. Now, that doesn't mean that we use all of NLP. We've already talked about that, but we are going to use it here. So let's jump in. So basically, what is the meta model? In neuro-linguistic programming, a meta model is a set of precise questions that challenge vague, distorted, or limited language. Vague, distorted, or limited language. Understand this. People do not describe the world as it is. They describe the world as they perceive it. And language reveals that perception. So recently, my wife was in a minor accident, and she's explaining to me what happened. She calls me, hey, this is what happened. And through her language and the way I perceive language, I saw it different than when I actually saw the vehicle. I was like, oh, no. So we understand this. People share from their language. We hear from our language, hear from our perception, and then we piece that together as reality. Okay, so when we use meta model questions, we help our client. And we do it by clarifying their goals, accessing more resources, identifying limiting beliefs, and breaking out of that stuck thinking. And so I'm going to give you 3 language patterns we use in Inner Compass. Number 1 is, and these really goes back to the meta model, but deletion. And that the word delete means, if you go on your keyboard and you hit delete, that simply means you delete something, right? Well, deleting is really something important, could be important, is left out of the statement. Something important is left out of the statement. So if someone says, I just feel overwhelmed, okay, well, they feel overwhelmed about what? See, they left that part out. They ignored me. Well, who exactly ignored you? And so one of the ways, and I'm going to give you 3 questions, 3 little quick questions, write these down, that you can use to help in this area. So number 1, what specifically? Who is they? When did this happen? So these are simple questions. What specifically, or who specifically? Who is they? When did this occur? When did this happen? So number 1, understand people delete part of they leave parts out of the conversation. I understood that. Okay, generalizations. Now these are they can be very limited or very powerful because they create sweeping statements that limit choice. Now I hear this a lot of times when people say, I always mess up. No one listens to me. You can challenge that. You can challenge that if your client would. You always? Every time? I'm curious, can you think back to a time where you didn't mess up, but things went good? So we're just breaking the pattern of the generalization, the overwhelm. No one listens to me. Can I challenge you on that? Because I'm truly listening now. And I'm sure there's other people that truly listen. As you think upon that, who comes to mind that does listen to you? So it's like, always? Who exactly? According to whom? Or in sales, a lot of times, I never make a decision without thinking about it. I never make a decision without sleeping on it. Never? So never. You're looking for these broad generalizations. Always, never. Never? Can I ask you, Mr. Prospect, has there ever been a time when you saw the value and it just felt right, where that wasn't true, that you had to sleep on it? Has there ever been a time when that wasn't true? Or I invite you, if I could, can I invite you to think back upon a time where that really wasn't true, that wasn't the case, where you could make a good decision? So that's generalization. So you have deletion and generalization. And then you have distortion. This is where a client is going to assign a meaning or a cause without evidence. Okay? She made me feel stupid. I know they don't like me. Okay. How exactly did she make you feel stupid? Or what tells you that they may not like you? So what we're doing is we're asking another question to their statement. Okay. How do you know? So, hey, I really just can't afford this at this time. We'll go back to sales, okay, for just a minute. I really can't afford this at this time. Well, I'm curious, how do you know that you can afford it? I mean, maybe you can. Maybe it's just a matter of finding the value for it, or maybe relocating some funds from some other place. Um, I know they don't like me. Well, how do you know that for sure? I mean, maybe they do. Could it be there's just a misunderstanding in communication? Um, so some great questions. I'll give you a couple. How do you know? Very important. Another great one is what specifically did they say or do? Again, we're trying to get back to not the distorted, trying to get back to reality. I'm curious, is it possible maybe you interpreted it that way, even that it wasn't how they felt? Or was it what they meant? So how do you know what specifically is it possible you interpreted it that way? Are you with me? Okay. So this is the power of the meta model questions. And I want to give you a couple more. So I'm actually going to go into our workbook, pull it up. And so how would I apply this to a coaching session? Client says, I just cannot grow my business. I've tried everything and it just never works. I want you to listen to the deletion, the generalization, and the distortion in this statement. Okay. I can't grow my business. I've tried everything. It just never works. I'm curious, what have you tried specifically? We want to get specific, okay? I'll give you an example with the Inner Compass life coaching. I have tried things that worked very well and things that didn't work, but I haven't tried everything. So if I was working with my coach, I'd be like, well, Wayne, what have you tried specifically to build the program? So what have you tried specifically? And you want to, it's how you ask it too. Hey, what have you tried specifically? So they begin to tell you. You've tried everything. You maybe want a bit in there first to create a reasonable doubt. I can't grow the business. I've tried everything and it just never works. Everything? I mean, I'm curious, what have you tried specifically? And you can also go back to what do you mean by it never works? So this is where they're coming in with distortion. Never? How? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by it never works? And now I'm really curious, Mr. Prospect. What would success look like if it did work? Because I'm going to give you an example here. Many people feel their business isn't working or their life isn't working, but they have no clear criteria to state that it is. Are you with me? So what would it look like? Maybe it's, well, I'll get 10 new clients this month, or I would lose that 20 pounds, or I would whatever you're working with them. Well, I would just feel better. Okay, yeah. But feelings are, it's hard to base it just on a feeling. If you felt better, how would that look? What would you see? What would you feel? What would you hear? So the key on these, all of these, let me tell you this, is absolute, as I said on one of the other videos, curiosity, not confrontation. Okay, you got to be very curious. You're not calling them out. You are calling them out, but you're not calling them out. You're inviting them to clarity. So building this rapport, which we talked about before, building rapport is so important. So they trust you. So when you do call them out or when you invite them to clarity, they're open and they'll give you the information you need. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Get a couple exercises this week. I want you to write down 5 vague phrases you hear this week from others or maybe even yourself. Okay. And then write out a meta model question for each. I want you to pair up with someone. Ask them to describe a challenge they're facing and only respond with the questions that will help with the generalization, deletion, or distortion. And then here's a big one. What vague or limiting language do you tend to use? And I've tried this and it never works. Okay. Tried what specifically? How do you know it doesn't work? What would success look like for you? Never. So start questioning even your own language. Okay. Here's the reality, guys. Words create reality. As you go deeper and deeper into the Inner Compass program, you're going to recognize that. And your job as a coach to help people reshape that reality through precise, empowering language. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go, if you haven't become certified with us yet, go to lifecoachlifestyle.com. I had someone recently tell me, well, Wayne, I'm already certified through this organization. Great. Do you realize coaches that have multiple certifications earn on average 287% more than someone with just one certification? Just a reality. The reason I believe is it builds your confidence. It gives you more of a framework, gives you more techniques, and then you're able to help people more specifically. Now, on the next lesson, we're going to go into more sensory acuity and calibration. Learning to read what's not being said. This is so powerful. I love this in group settings, but we're going to do it here on video as well. So be sure, if this is your first time, subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, all that fun stuff, right? And then be sure to go into the Inner Compass notebook, every one of you that are students, and I will see you on our next live class. Until then, make it a great day. Go out there, change lives, get paid well for doing it. God bless.